What's up, guys? I'm Carl Carell. Today's Music Gear Monday, and we are looking at Teenage Engineering OP-1 synthesizer. It's their 10-year anniversary. It's their flagship synth. There's a lot of hype behind this synth, but I feel like it's living up to the hype with a lot of the capabilities, at least from my perspective. We're going to take a look at that today. What's in the box? Hope everybody's having a great holiday, and if you're watching this in the new year, happy new year to you. Let's get into it. All right, so today we are looking at a very, very unique synthesizer to make production with. The OP-1 came out about 10 years ago. Actually, 10 years ago, they released some gear earlier this year, a t-shirt, keychain, to commemorate 10 years of the OP-1. So first of all, when you get the OP-1, very minimal design, very minimal packaging. Comes in this sleeve on top of this cardboard box, recyclable cardboard material. It comes with these rubber bands that are actually in the box when packaged, but you can use these rubber bands to actually wrap around the cardboard box and carry your OP-1 around, without having to buy a case. And for the steep price of what this guy costs, saving money on anything is going to help. But what comes in the box is the OP-1 itself and a cable. They do sell a package that comes with the accessories, and the accessory bundle is going to include an antenna and some little knobs and winders to kind of twist and turn. I haven't messed with these. They come in an accessory box. You can buy the accessory pack. It is $75. I didn't feel like I needed it right now, but looking at the OP-1, some of the features. Top, you have your little rotary knobs here. You have a volume control. You have your channels here, which we'll get into, and then you have your keys here at the bottom. You have this keyboard row, and then all your parameters kind of run along the side and the top. You have a built-in speaker, so if you don't have headphones or you're kind of somewhere where you can't plug into speakers or anything like that, you can use this little speaker to have some fun with. And then on the side, your headphone / line out, and then you do have your line input, so you can send audio into this guy and record. You have a mini USB port for transferring audio or using as a MIDI controller or data. These little pieces right here are for the strap, I believe, that they sell. I'm gonna go ahead and power this guy on. So looking at this guy, we are on this tape recorder right now, and this tape recorder shows you tracks 1, 2, 3, and 4, and that's what those little lines are at the bottom. The cable that you get with this guy is going to be a stereo cable, kind of like TRS cable. I found that using the TRS cable didn't really work. So if you have a headphone cable with the adapter, it doesn't give you volume. And I watched a couple videos online, and so I basically took this guy, split it into left and right with these two cables here, and then we've got signal. So now we got some sound here. Just a quick overview from my perspective and how I've been using this guy so far, just diving into it. It does come with a little user manual type of display. Right now, I don't remember where I put that. It tells you what everything is, and it's pretty useful, but I found that going on YouTube and finding videos like this is easier because you can kind of see what's going on. So this button here on the left side with this little wavy form, that is going to be your synth. You click that, you get access to all of the synthesizers, and each one of these numbers over here, so 1 through 8, are different patches that you can have quick recalls to reference. So if I click 1, there's a patch loaded on that one. But if I wanted to switch that patch up, if I hold this shift button down and I hit 1, it's going to show me different patches that I can go through and find. And you can see it's kind of color coordinated, so it shows you all of these different patch titles will give you presets. So if we are in this synth, you have different parameters. So 1 through 4 are going to be like your different control parameters. One is going to show you that patch, what it actually is doing. 2 is going to be your envelope. 3 is going to be where some of your other effects show up. Very unique effects that I think that's the reasons a lot of people love this synth is some of the different ways that you can control and see visually some of these effects work. So if you hold shift down and you click that same effect, you can actually scroll and pick a different effect. So I can pick a delay instead, and I click 3 because that's where it's going to be. And now I have a delay. There's a lot of different effects that you can play around with. And then 4, same thing, another kind of control. I'm still learning a lot of this stuff as well, so I'm brand new to this thing. So these are going to be your different effects, and like I said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. These are different places where you can actually load different sounds that you want. So if you click on any of the numbers, if you hold shift and click on that number, it's going to give you an option to change that synth. And yeah, these keyboards, some like really responsive laptop keys. It just makes this thing really fun to tap around and play on. So that's going to be where your synths live. So remember this button over here with the little wave form on it. That's going to be where your synths are. 1 through 4, when you're in synths, is going to be the different control parameters. And you could turn them off or on by just clicking them and clicking them off or clicking them on. Right next to the synth icon, you have a drum icon. If you tap that, now you're in drum kits. And this thing has some amazing sounding drum kits. I don't know where they got these samples from, but they sound amazing. So same thing, if you're in drums, you can click on the different kits here that are preloaded. And then again, if you hold shift down and you click any of these numbers, you can see all of the different kits, and you can scroll through those kits and find something that you like. When you find it, it should be loaded on there. And there again, you could go into the parameters and you could dial in the sound that you want. Some of these really fun illustrations that they use for effects. So yeah, those are the different parameters, and there again, you could turn them off and on when selected there. This next one, this little tape icon, if we click on that, this is your 4-track tape recorder. And so these 2 arrows will let you scrub forward or scrub backwards. So you have little grid markers. If you hold shift down, you could jump ahead to those grid markers by each bar. So I could jump by each bar. Your tape machine has 5 minutes of tape, and you have 4 tracks. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can do within those 4 tracks whatever you want, but within that 5 minutes of tape. So you can layer stuff on one track, I found. So I could put like 3 layers of synths on one track if I wanted to build something up. Or I could do, drums at 1 bar and add some percussion or something a bar later. And this is, again, like I said, this is stuff I'm just trying out. This is your tape machine. So this was a beat that I made on this guy. So that was fun to make, and you could hear the different layers of synths. Some of those layers are on the same, and I'll show you right now. Right next to the tape gives you your volume levels of all 4 tracks. And so if we're playing these tracks, So that just basically went through the loop. You can loop your sections. So if you look here, I have a bunch of different sections here. I have about a minute worth of music, right? Within that minute 20 worth of music, I can loop it by using these in and out, just like a loop on a DJ controller. I could punch in where I want the in to come in and punch out where I want the out to come in. So if I wanted to loop just one bar, I could hit in there, and it's only gonna loop that 4 count. So if I want that, to be the in, I could leave it there. If I hit shift, I can go all the way back to the top. I could put my in back at the top. So now I'm back at a minute 20 of a loop. So you can put your loop wherever you want to put your loop. Just make sure the loop button is turned on. And so these 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, these are some effects that you can use. A reverse, a stutter, and then this guy, a tape stop. And then you have M1 and M2, which I think stand for memory. I'm not too sure. We'll have to come back to it. But again, you get back to your sequencer, which I don't think we talked about yet. So sequencer is a very, very fun tool that I've been playing with. So let's go with this synth. Boom, we click that on, and now our arpeggiator's on. You can turn this knob here for it to hold, so you don't have to leave your hands on it, because if you don't have the hold on, it's not going to play the sequence unless you have your hand down on it. So we have speed up in the top left corner there. And then if you click shift and you can find, you have arpeggio, you have endless. So if we click endless, this one's fun because you hold shift down and you create a sequence. So now you have a sequence that you can play. You have this one that's called Finger, which has some really interesting patterns. This next one is called Patterns. This is one that I haven't got to play around with much yet. Again, this one I have not played around with much at all. I've just seen it. I probably have to clear those patterns out. Sketch is another interesting one, and I think I erased the original sketch that was in here, but it's literally like an Etch-a-Sketch. But it's like a little Etch-a-Sketch here. So you can draw all kinds of different stuff. Again, this is one that I still haven't played around with much. As you can see, I have a really raggedy sketch going on in here. If you hold shift down, you can get rid of everything. You could draw like a little picture if you want. We'll figure that out. That's another video we'll have to come back to. And then the last one is Tombola. And this one I played around with a little bit. So this one is like very abstract. But that could be a fun one for somebody that wants to make like some textures or some interesting percussive sounds. Also with drum kit, you can use these different options. Which is really fun because you can come up with some unique patterns. That gets us through all of these guys, right? So now we have this button right here, which gets us to our BPM, tempo, how fast or slow we want this actual track. Your sync here, so you can actually run external instruments like a pocket operator or something like that if you wanted to. And then you have the volume of your metronome here as well. And so that's pretty much the gist of that guy there. This guy right here is to help you figure out what is what. So if you hold this little talking icon down and you tap on the different buttons, it tells you what they are. So synth, drum, tape, mixer, metronome, tempo. And so this is showing us these different patches that we have loaded up here. That's what I guess we haven't talked about. These two arrows are your octave up and octave down as well. So when you're playing keys, yeah. So when you're done recording a song, say you have 3-minute record or wherever you're at, you hold shift down and you hit COM over here in the top right. That's going to give you the option to put your OP-1 either in controller mode, or you could put it in disk mode, which will allow your computer to see it, to charge. That's where you're going to basically do anything that you have to do as far as, you know, working with the computer. If you're not just sending audio out and tracking to a program, this is where you're going to want to be. So if you don't hold shift down and you just hit COM, you have a recorder, and on this recorder you can actually your record to this tape if you want to make reference of what you were playing. If you hold shift down, you can see what input it's actually using, and you can see the microphone is actually picking up the room. You have the option to try to catch radio. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's picking up radio right now. They do sell the antenna. The antenna actually boosts the signal so that you could pick up a better signal and sample some radio. And then you do have the auxiliary input. So those are your different options for recording audio going into this guy. That's the OP-1 in a nutshell. That's what comes in the box. Very small handheld device. Could fit in your pocket, but not really a pocket thing. They do sell a case for this guy that's pretty cool. I just got a analog case. If you're not familiar with analog case, you know I do a lot of stuff with those guys. What do you guys think of the OP-1? Are you fans of the OP-1? This guy starts around $12.99, I want to say, and goes up from there depending on the pack that comes with the case and the accessories. It goes up to about $14.99, I believe. A lot of people won't buy these because of the price, and I've seen it all over the place. You know, a small little device like this feels like it might not be worth it. It's actually, the build quality on it's very, very solid. Everything feels very, very heavy, very premium, a very minimal design. A lot of the sounds in this guy sound amazing. I'll do another video where we kind of just go through sounds and patches. Sometimes you can find these guys on Reverb or on eBay for pretty cheap. Like I said, these guys are built pretty tough, so if you can get one, you know, that's in pretty good condition, I'm sure it will last you. Let me know what you guys think of the OP-1. What's some stuff that you might want to see on this guy? I'll be posting some more video later on, but that's gonna be it for Music Gear Monday. I'm Carl Carell. We will catch you guys here next week. Everybody have a good new year. Peace.